Hey everyone, it's Kirsten, and this is my race report for the Wildlife Loop Triathlon that takes place in Custer, South Dakota. And I did it this year, which was 1 week ago, September 10th, 2016, and I loved it. So I loved it for a ton of reasons, but I'll tell you a little bit about the race. This was the third year of the race. It's a half iron distance, which is 1.2 mile swim, 56-mile bike, and a 13.1 mile run. They also have relay options, so you can do one or two of the parts. You don't have to do all three. You can do a relay with somebody. Or they also have an aqua bike, which is just the swim and the bike portion of the race. So lots of options depending on what you like, your ability, your level, whatever. So I really like that there's lots of options. It's also a really small race. So I think the first year they did it, there was about 40 people. The second year, about 60. And I'm not sure how many this year, but I would say at the most 40. And it's put on by just a local triathlon guy, and him and his family and friends kind of put it together. So it's a great, great race. I will 100% do it again next year. And not only because I had a great experience, but because I think it's just a great little community, and they're really trying to build the community of triathlon in South Dakota, and I would love to help be a part of that. As a Colorado person, it's actually not bad at all getting there. I think it took us maybe 5-hour drive, a super, super easy drive. There was no traffic at all. And then same thing on the way home. And it's after Labor Day, so the hotels are really cheap, and it's not crowded, and it's a great place to take the family, especially if you haven't been up there to see Mount Rushmore and all the other cool things in the area. So this year I decided to do the race about 2 weeks before the race. And the reason I decided to is because my friend Wendy did it last year, and she won, overall female, and she won $800. And this is the only race in South Dakota that gives a prize purse, and it's $800 for first place male and female overall, $400 for second place male and female overall, and $300 for third place male and female overall. And I don't know if they're going to continue with that as the race grows. I don't know. I hope they do, because it was really fun to go and think, hey, I could actually win some money being a non-professional triathlete. So 2 weeks before the race, Wendy was like, you got to go do that race, try to earn the money. You've been racing really well this year. And I did an Ironman about 6 weeks ago, and I recovered pretty quickly and still felt pretty excited about racing and still felt pretty fit. So I thought, why not? I'll go for it. So I talked my husband into coming with me, which he rarely comes to races with me. But South Dakota, it was pretty. We took the dog. We took a little weekend family vacation. So that all worked out really, really well. So race morning, woke up. It was 30 degrees, which is cold when you think about I have to go into some water. The lake was really warm, so though it was actually really foggy over the lake because the lake was so warm and the air was so cold. So when I left the hotel, I put my wetsuit on because I didn't check the weather in advance, and I didn't know it was going to be that cold, and I didn't have any other pants to put on. So I just put on my wetsuit leaving the hotel. So I got to the race. I love local, small, low-key races because I didn't have to wake up super early and take a shuttle and park an hour beforehand. I could just park right by the transition. And since it was so cold, I just hung out in my car, kept warm until about 10 minutes before the race started. Then I went out to the transition area and finished getting ready for the race. So I love, love, love that low key. So swim start, it was a 2-loop rectangular swim, and I love a mass start anyway. I love everyone starting at once. There was only, like I said, I don't know the final numbers yet because the results aren't up, but there was a couple dozen people, so it wasn't a crazy, thrashing on people swim. However, I did get ran over by somebody on the swim, and it actually just made me laugh. I wasn't annoyed. I just laughed because I'm like, we have this whole huge lake and we're all spread out, and one person swam crooked and ran over me. So anyway, pretty basic swim, a rectangle course, 2 loops. From the third buoy to the finish, the sun was in my eyes, so I couldn't really see where I was going. So I think that part was a little slower. But all in all, I think my swim was around 30 minutes. Again, the results aren't out yet, and I don't wear a watch or anything when I race, so I knew my total overall time. I asked at the end. But I remember when I came out of the swim that somebody yelled 30-minute swim. So 30 minutes, which is my usual swim time, which is great. So I got to transition. The transition area was like super tiny, 20 feet by 20 feet or whatever. So really easy. So I'm sure transition times were pretty quick. I couldn't decide going in before the start if I should wear a jacket or not, starting off on the bike since it was really cold out. But during the swim, I got pretty warm and I decided I'm not going to wear my jacket, but I'm going to wear my gloves. But after like 30 seconds of trying to put my gloves on wet hands, I decided not to wear them. So I went off on the bike and I never got cold. So it was fine. My toes were a little numb because they started off cold from standing on the grass before the swim. So they stayed numb for about 10, 20 miles on the bike, but that's no big deal. I've had that happen before. So the bike course is amazing. It's basically 2 loops, all through Custer State Park, down Iron Mountain Road, up and down Iron Mountain Road, a lot of climbing, a lot of descending, very shaded, so it never got really hot. And the roads were all super smooth, which is such a treat. The cars that were out were really nice and pulled way over when they had to pass us. And all in all, I had a really great bike ride. I didn't push the first loop because I had no idea what the bike course was like. And then when I finished the first loop, I thought, oh, this isn't so bad. So then I pushed the second loop. And then the last few miles, in my mind, I remember coming up from the transition. And so I thought the last few miles were going to be all downhill. So I kind of pushed the last hill and then it kept going up and up and up. And I realized out of the last 3 miles, like 2.5 was uphill and only a half was downhill. So I was a little like, oh, when's this hill going to end? And I haven't been training on a lot of hills, but I like hills. So I had a really fun bike ride. I don't know my time yet. I would guess around like 3:15. Definitely longer than, my average half Ironman distance bike ride because it was a pretty hilly course. But it was great. It was beautiful, beautiful. Oh, we saw buffalo. Scary, because they're huge, but they were, off to the side of the road. So I just rode by them quickly. Second transition, again, pretty quickly. It actually took me a little longer because I couldn't find the clasp on my helmet. And I don't know why I couldn't find it. It was really weird. I've worn the same helmet all season. So I had to run up to somebody and ask them to unhook my helmet for me. So a little dork moment, but whatever. So I was off on the run. The run was 2 out and backs of pretty uphill, pretty downhill, pretty uphill, pretty downhill, turn around, same thing back, same thing up, same thing back. And it was starting to get warm, so I was just keeping myself really wet with bottles of water. The aid stations were great. The people volunteering were great. And the second out was super, super, super big headwind. So all I knew was if I can get to the turnaround and turn around, I'll have a super big tailwind coming home, which I did. And it felt awesome. So I think my run was probably about 2 hours and my overall time was 5 hours and 47 minutes, which was, I wasn't really doing it for time. I was doing it for the experience and to try to win money, and I won money. So I didn't know where the bikers were since it was loops. So I didn't know if there was anyone behind me or close behind me, but I didn't have any women pass me on the bike. And I had a feeling I was first woman out of the swim, even though I wasn't sure because I knew there was only a couple people ahead of me on the swim. And then on the run at the first turnaround, I kind of kept track of, I counted my steps since I don't wear a watch, until I saw the next woman and it was pretty far ahead. So I was thinking, oh my gosh, I could actually make money doing this. So I got really excited. The run never got super hard. I walked up one of the hills because it was really steep and I was getting tired, and just kept going and just kept telling myself, just keep going and you can actually win money doing what you love. So I got first place. So I got a check for $800 and I was just really excited because I would have done the triathlon anyway. I would have done the race anyway. Racing is what I love to do. Triathlon is what I love to do. Triathlete is who I am. So the fact that I won money is just a super bonus on top of that. So I was extremely happy with the race. Again, even if they don't, it's not, it was about the money. I was super excited about the money, but that race was awesome. And I will definitely do it next year, whether they offer the prize purse or not, because you never know. And even if they do, there could be a couple pro girls that show up and take the cake. Anyway, I'm doing it because it's awesome and you guys should do it with me. So the other awesome thing is my A race for next year's Boulder Ironman. I hadn't signed up yet because I didn't have the money. I went to go see how much it would be with all the fees and everything. It was $799.20, and I just won $800. So I'm all signed up for Boulder and excited for the rest of my year. So if you guys have any questions about the race, I'd love to answer them for you, because I'd love to see more people out there next year, especially girls. Girl power. And that's it. So thank you guys for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.